Alright, let's see what we got. Probably multiple choice. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple choice. That's not so great. And matching statements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just 3 gap fills. So of course we're going to try and do this one first. And then that means we need to find where it comes from, which paragraph it comes from. So the first thing that you want to do is just go and take a look and see where they take the multiple choice from. Second paragraph, no, fourth paragraph, sixth paragraph, last paragraph. And that's actually bad news because they've taken it from everywhere, taken the multiple choice from the whole passage. As you will know if you have seen previous videos about passage 3, very often the multiple choice, they will stop somewhere, maybe somewhere like that, and then they will take the rest of the or the gap fills if there is, or the summary if there is, from one of these paragraphs. But unfortunately, as you can see, they've taken it from everywhere. They say this one's the 6th paragraph, this one's the last paragraph, so that doesn't help us. So we got to just quickly, now you got to make a decision. Are you going to still try and look for it, or are you going to start with these, because at least we can find these names and get going on something. So my initial instinct was to say, okay, well, can't find it, but what I will do is highlight some words and then just keep looking at them, keep them in the back of my head, and maybe I will see them later. So experience large number of stranger previously. Here's earth, but that's, I mean, earth is not a good keyword because it can be the world or the globe or the planet. There's lots of synonyms, but I do see buffalo. That's a kind of an animal. And that was what I was going to do. Then I was going to continue with this, but then I thought, well, let me just go and check. I mean, it's the last questions. Maybe we can see it in the last paragraph or somewhere at the end. And immediately I saw from the first sentence over there, own bias. And I thought, okay, well, must be from that paragraph. So that was a little bit lucky. It won't always happen like that. And then I just quickly scanned, and I did see buffalo eventually over there. So I thought, okay, great, let's do the summary first, because I got a bit lucky and I found the paragraph. Right. The writer has experience of a large number of something and was the first stranger that certain previously something people had encountered. Okay, so a large number of. Now, they don't say, okay, first of all, it's going to be a noun. But they don't say a large amount of. Technically speaking, and I don't know if they would be this correct, but technically speaking, if they don't say amount, then if they say number, then it should be countable. And a large number of means many. So it's probably going to be plural noun, countable plural noun. You can't really say, for example, uncountable, like a large number of coffee, or a large number of air, or a large number of gasoline. Then you would say amount. So I'm guessing it's going to be a plural noun. But this one, it's quite nice, because just take a second, maybe pause the video and tell me exactly what kind of word should go in there. That's very important. So there's your noun. This is an adverb, and so that means that this has to be an adjective. So we're looking for a plural noun and an adjective. Let's see if we can find them. The writer has experience of a large number of something, and then there's a comma. So let's go and see if we can find a large number of. Of course, we're going to need a synonym, but something about many. I'm interested in the exploration of ideas. I've done a great many expeditions. Very simple, and plural countable noun, and each one was unique. I've done a great many expeditions. The writer has experience of a large number of expeditions. So yeah, I don't think that should have been too problematic. A large number of was the clue there, and the grammar helped us a bit. Now we're looking for, he was the first stranger that certain previously adjective people had encountered. So he was the first person that these previously something people encountered. I've lived for months with isolated groups of people all around the world, even to uncontacted tribes. But none of these things in the, so I'm pretty sure that it's going to be from this paragraph, and so we from this sentence, and so we're just going to look for adjectives. You could go on and see, is it from there, but here he's not talking about any kind of people. And anyway, here is a but, which means that he's going to start a whole new idea over here. So here he's talking about the people, and so it's really most likely that it's this. So what do we want? We want adjectives. There's an adjective there, but that's talking about the expeditions. We want adjectives that are describing the people. Isolated is describing the people, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's describing the groups, but you can say isolated people. And then a tribe, I hope you know what a tribe is. A tribe is like a group of people. There's another adjective. So really it has to be one of these two adjectives, because we know that we're looking for adjectives. Isolated and uncontacted. It was actually, I would have gone with this one, uncontacted, but this one is also fine. Previously uncontacted tribes. You could say isolated, that means the same thing. Great. And if you look at the answers, yes, they have isolated or uncontacted. So what did they say there? Unique was also acceptable. A number of unique expeditions. That's strange. And each one was unique. So if you put that unique in to there, yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's a bit risky. Don't do that. It's not always going to be acceptable. And finally, well, not finally, next. He believes there is no need. Notice the negatives. They always pop up. If there's a negative here, there's some form of negative in the text. No need for further exploration of Earths, except to answer the buffalo. No need for further exploration of Earths. Here's the buffalo. So let's go a bit backwards. Why? We know the land surface of our planet. There is Earth. And so basically what they've just done here, which is quite a common thing with the gap fills, is they've changed the noun phrase 1 and noun phrase 2. Surface of Earth, surface of our planet, that's noun preposition. Noun, as you know from the task 1 academic, that's noun phrase 2, what I call noun phrase 2. So the planet's surface would be noun phrase 1. So surface of our planet, Earth's surface. The key to that was from this word Earth. Where else do you see anything referring to Earth? And then you had to sort of work with the noun phrase to see the surface of what belongs to the Earth, what belongs to the planet. So maybe some slightly tricky grammar, but it wasn't too difficult to find where planet and Earth. Alright, so not too bad. If you found the paragraph, I think the grammar would help you there. Of course, you know that you're looking for a noun over there, and I think you can get 3 out of 3 there. So, but you don't want to waste too much time, because you actually want to move on to these quite quickly. And of course we're going to leave the multiple choice for later, and now we're going to just go and find where these names are. So it's scanning. So off we go and start scanning. What are we looking for first? These will be in the order that they are in the order in the text. So we want Peter Fleming, and then we'll look for Rand Fiends as well, all the way up. Peter Fleming, scan, scan, scan. And eventually I see Peter Fleming over there. And now I'm looking for Rand Fiends. Remember, they can repeat the names, but we don't see it really. And here's Rand Fiends over here. And I actually see that it's all in one paragraph because we have Chris there, Robin and Wilfred. Chris, Robin and Wilfred. And if you carry on scanning, you'll see that actually all comes from this paragraph, except for that first one. So that's quite nice. We only have to read this paragraph and then only this. At this point, it's a good practice to just go and check what the question says, match the statement with the explorer. Sometimes they can do some funny stuff over here, so just check what you're actually supposed to be doing. Statement with explorer. So for example, over these, be careful. Some students will think, okay, there's the inverted commas there, so that's the statement. But so it doesn't have to be in inverted commas. Here is talks of. So this is kind of enough for a statement by Peter Fleming. Doesn't have to be in inverted commas because it's introduced with that verb over there. So we want to actually check that whole thing, not just the stuff in inverted commas. Right, what are you going to do next? I think it's time now to start becoming familiar with these questions. Go to each one of these and highlight some keywords that you're going to start looking for in each statement that you find. Right, so he referred to relevance of. The relevance maybe, but it's more form of transport, kind of transport. Describe feelings coming back home, long journey. Let's go with long journey, but maybe also coming back home, returning home. Benefit of specific groups of people. Yeah, maybe it's nothing really great. They can really paraphrase that. Did not consider. Notice I'm going to make it a different. Often a negative comes up as well, so notice the negatives. About oneself, an essential part of exploration. I think learning about oneself is the thing there. Define we don't want exploration because the whole thing is exploration. Both unique and of value to others. So unique and of value to others. Right, so not great keywords. They'll definitely paraphrase these quite strongly, but maybe it can help us. So now we're going to go to our first one, and let's look for form of transport, coming back home, long journey, groups of people, specific groups of people, learning about oneself, unique, value of others, difficult. Another way that you could do it is to just remember one and then go to each one of these things that they say. And I actually, for this one, I feel like that's a little bit better. But anyway, let's start. You're going to have to do some detailed reading here now. The moment when the explorer returns to the existence he has left behind with his loved ones. The traveler who has for weeks seen himself only as a blah, 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 alien crawling over a country in which he has no roots, suddenly encounters his other self, a relatively solid figure with a place in the minds of certain people. I think the moment when the explorer returns to the existence with his loved ones, I think that's the whole point of the thing. And it's not form of transport, and it's this one. Describes feelings on coming back home. There was returns to his loved ones after a long journey. Specific groups of people know, learning about oneself. He did not consider an essential. I want to highlight that. Both unique and of value to others. Okay, so not much there. I'm going to come back to that one. That one was actually quite a big, long, difficult one. I know that there's lots here, so I'm going to try and delete a few. Let's also just check, can we use any letter more than once? Yes, we can. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't mean we will use all of these. Actually, because it's IELTS and because it's passage 3, probably we will use one of these twice and we will not use one of them. Anyway, let's look at these ones. I really want to get stuck into this paragraph. He said, an explorer is someone who has done something that no human has done before and also done something scientifically useful. Form of transport, no. Coming back home, no. He worked for, no. Actually, this is a problem and it's a mistake by IELTS over here. They say this is a statement with an explorer, but this is not about a statement. This is about he worked for. All of these others, referred to, that's a statement. Described, that's a statement. Considered, a statement. Defined, a statement. But he worked for other people. That's not a statement. So that's actually a bad mistake by IELTS. Anyway, what were we doing? No human has done before and also scientifically useful. So, feelings coming back home, no. Groups of people, no. Learning about oneself, not essential, no. But yes, no one has done it before. That's unique. Scientifically useful, it's of value. So yeah, I'm going to go with, who was he? Ranfien's B over there. Unfortunately, I can't cross them out because we can use anyone more than once. A leading mountaineer felt in the act of physically touching the unknown. You have to go somewhere new. No, I don't see any of those there. Physically touching the unknown, go somewhere new. Transport, coming back home, groups of people, learning about oneself, no. A campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal peoples, and this is where my problem comes in. They shouldn't have asked a question from this because that is not a statement. That is just describing who he is. Anyway, a traveler records information about some far off world, reports back, so nothing. But this is obviously, he worked for these other people. He worked for the benefit of. For the benefit of is on behalf of. But very bad by IELTS to call that a statement. That's not a statement. What was he? Robin Thornberry Tennyson. No. Yes. So that must be D then. What else have we got? Anything? I'm trying to find something easy. None of these are easy. He records information, but an explorer changes the world. Belongs to an era. Told me if I'd gone across by camel when I could have gone by car, it would have been a stunt. So there we're talking about cars, which is definitely the form of transport. He just has to refer to it. He referred to the relevance of the form of transport. So that was finally one that we can get. E. So then we've got two left, and this one is we would have to go back and read this. And yes, he's talking about when the explorer returns, that comes home to his loved ones. His loved ones is home. So I'm comfortable enough with coming back home after a long journey. Can we find the long journey? Weeks or months, and crawling over a country. That's the long journey. So yes, that's no problem. That's A. And then did not consider learning about oneself an essential part. At this point, you're running out of time. You're going to start guessing. But if you look for it, learning about oneself is over here. Self-discovery. The negative actually was in the regardless of. Regardless, L-E-S-S, means it's a negative word. So the negative was quite hidden. The not was hidden in that word less. But self-discovery and learning about yourself, they were there if you could find it. Pretty tricky, but I think you can get a few of those. spend more time on this than you do on the multiple choice, really, because these multiple choice are going to eat your time and they're going to be super difficult. So it's better to try and get 5 out of 5 here and then just guess the multiple choice than rush through these, make mistakes, get 2 out of 5, and then try and do the multiple choice and end up guessing anyway. So I would really try and get 5 here, 3 here, that's 8, and then just go B, 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 and maybe you'll get 1 or 2, 9 or 10. That's a good score for this. It's a much better strategy, because otherwise you're going to spend 5 minutes on one of these, get it wrong anyway. So anyway, so those weren't too bad. They were doable, except for the little mistake that IELTS made. They were doable. Right, so then let's move on to the multiple choice. Alright, so I'll look at these in a little bit more detail than I usually do, but just remember, at this point you don't have much time. These questions are for Band 8, Band 9 students, and if you're not Band 8, Band 9 and you try too hard, you're going to waste time on them, so don't be afraid to guess. But let's take a look. The writer refers to visitors to New York. So there's the second paragraph. This is probably going to be in the first paragraph. Let's go and find New York. What I usually suggest is read that, but then don't read these yet. Try and answer it before you read these. The writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that. So why does he refer to visitors to New York? New York is all the way down here. So we kind of got to read this whole thing. This questioning nature helped our species spread around the globe, just as it helped these people in the forests of Borneo and a visitor negotiate New York. So these are obviously just 2 examples, so we don't really need to look at this one. Why did he mention the New York? Because this questioning nature helped our species spread around the globe. What is this questioning nature? Maybe you can find it somewhere else, and it's this: our desire to discover, our questioning nature. That's actually what this whole paragraph is about, and that's often what multiple choice is all about. Is it's not like other questions which are about specific sentences or specific words. Multiple choice is often about the whole paragraph. So what is the topic of this paragraph? What are the most important words in this paragraph? So we are all explorers. Our desire to discover is part of what makes us human, and that's actually the topic of the paragraph. Our desire to discover is part of what makes us human, or let's just say makes us human. This is a similar paragraph structure to the ones that we use in task 2, where maybe you have a bridge sentence or a topic sentence for the paragraph. This is introducing the whole idea of exploration, so it's kind of a bridge sentence. But then in the second sentence, and specifically at the end of the second sentence, as I teach you a lot in the task 2 essay writing, at the end of that sentence, this is really the topic sentence of the paragraph. At the end of it is where you give the most important information of the paragraph. And that's what he does over here. Yes, okay, he continues with an example, so it's a bit more complex, but actually this sentence really ends over here. This is just extra information, this indeed. It's like, of course. Here is the topic of the paragraph: makes us human. This questioning nature, our desire to discover, is part of what makes us human. So let's see what they've got. Exploration is an intrinsic element. Intrinsic means it's internal. We are born with it. Element of being human. So I would say definitely yes. Most people are enthusiastic. No. Can lead to surprising results. No. Find exploration daunting. It means challenging or scary or something like that. No. This is it over there. What is the topic of the whole paragraph? What are the most important words in the whole paragraph. What makes us human? And this desire to discover, this questioning nature. And then he mentions New York. So there's our answer. All right. I'll just repeat that multiple choice. That question was about paragraph. It wasn't about any specific sentence. Sometimes they are about a specific sentence, but definitely generally with multiple choice you're dealing with paragraph, overall paragraph, topic and structure. So that one was about the paragraph, and this is a common paragraph structure, bridging sentence maybe or maybe not, but then topic sentence, and the most important information in the paragraph is in that topic sentence. Let's look at the next one. According to the second, what is the writer's view of explorers? So what does he think about explorers? Over the years, we're looking about the writer's view. We've come to think of explorers. So this is society has come to think of explorers, different from the rest of us, different from those. And maybe, yes, there is this of blah, 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 blah. That, however, doesn't take away from the fact that we all have this instinct, even today, and that in all sorts of professions, blah, 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 borders of the unknown are being tested each day. So this is actually a different paragraph structure. This one is we put the information there, and then we basically go on to develop that topic sentence with the rest of the paragraph with examples and conditionals, just like we do in task 2. But this is a different paragraph structure. I don't teach this for task 2 because it's just a bit more advanced. You don't really need it in your task 2, but it's a very common one to see, to notice in the reading, especially for multiple choice. And it's called a contrast paragraph, where they go blah, 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 however, blah, 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 blah. So they put the however or a but or a though or a yet, a contrast marker, somewhere in the middle of the paragraph. And the first half of the paragraph is about the one on the one hand, and the second half of the paragraph is about on the other hand. And usually IELTS will take the important information or the question from the second half, because that's where the important information is. This is just like I like apples, however I prefer oranges, and the oranges is actually the more important information. I put it after the contrast marker. We've seen this before in other readings. So, what is the question again? What is the writer's view of explorers? We're going to take it from here. Society, we think of explorers as different. However, we all have this instinct, so they're not really so different. He's saying that society thinks explorers are different. However, I think we're all explorers. We're not really different. What is the writer's view? So that's definitely the writer's opinion is going to come from this part over here. The writer's view is that brought benefits and disadvantages, no. Teaching others, no. Common to everyone, yes. Certain professions, no. They act on an urge that is common to everyone. And where is that? We all have this inquiring instinct. This urge, this instinct is common to everyone. We all have it. So the important information came after the however in this contrast paragraph. Contrast paragraph structure, important information right after the but. Very, very common that happens. So, common to everyone over there. All right. I think I've talked enough. This is becoming quite a long video, so I'll just go through these quite quickly. But you can learn something new there, the two different paragraph structures, and where is the important information in those two paragraph structures. Here the important information is in the topic sentence. Here the important information is after the contrast marker. This is a topic sentence, develop, 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 develop. This is a viewpoint number 1, however, viewpoint number 2 two different paragraph structures. Great. Writer refers to this to suggest that. Why does he refer to it? Here it is, and Thomas Hardy is he's a writer. So this is a writer talking about the writer. A fictional area of uncultivated land. That's what this is. And Thomas Hardy used the landscape to suggest the desires and fears of his characters. And then he goes on to develop this whole idea. So what is it's the same structure as this one. What is the most important information in this paragraph? Desires and fears of the characters. End of the topic sentence. Desires and fears of the characters. Own experience, nature of isolation, emotional states, attraction of isolation, desires and fears, emotional states. Great. So yes, we're guessing a lot with the multiple choice, but maybe we can guess from the right places. We call it an educated guess. Fourth paragraph, golden age. Why does he refer to a golden age? Why is he talking about a golden age? Golden age, golden age, golden age. Paragraph number 1, golden age is over there. Now this is actually quite a complicated paragraph. There's a but over there, and there's a contrast marker over there, and actually the whole thing is around this contrast marker. He's talking about one viewpoint over here, and then he says, however, though, the truth is that blah 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 blah. It needs some detailed reading. Basically, I'll summarize it for you. He's saying that there was a golden age of exploration. Exploration hit a peak, and now it's on the decline. The discovery is on the decline. However, it's not on the decline. We haven't named all of the bacteria, the planet's species, 5% of the species, ocean floors, 10% of our brains. He's saying that there was a golden age, but there is still a lot left to explore. There is still a lot of unknown stuff. So why did he refer to the golden age? To suggest maybe this viewpoint. Maybe we've discovered most of what there is to discover. And amount of useful information has decreased. I wouldn't say no. Fewer people are interesting. No, it's not about people. Recent developments have made it less exciting. No, we are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. And I would say that's what it is. This says there was a golden age, exploration is over, exploration is no longer necessary. However, the truth is that there is a lot more to explore. So we are wrong to think that this viewpoint is true. So again, they took it from the part after the contrast marker. Again, this is a contrast paragraph, viewpoint number 1. However, viewpoint number 2, and the answer came from viewpoint number 2. But it was a very difficult, complex one to get. So don't worry if you didn't get that. But I'll just show you where it came from. Sixth paragraph, the definition of exploration. The writer argues that. So we skip that one, and this is the sixth paragraph. Definition is slightly different. Actually, same paragraph structure as this paragraph structure and this paragraph structure, where he just puts it in the topic sentence and then develop, 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 develop. Repeat, 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 develop, develop. Each definition reflects the field of endeavor of each pioneer. People tend to relate the exploration definition to their own professional interests. The field of, what did they say? Field of endeavor of each person. That's their own professional interest, is the field of endeavor. So yes, we'll just go with A over there, straight from the topic sentence of that paragraph once again. Notice the paragraph structure and where the important information is. End of the topic sentence. And finally, last paragraph. He is interested in. This was really difficult because, well, there's quite a lot to read, and this is quite a complex paragraph structure. Like this is introducing a question into the paragraph structure, so it's a whole different paragraph structure. But if you notice a few things, here's a paragraph contrast marker, here's a contrast marker. After these contrast markers, he says a new slant, a new idea. That's what's important. However, this is what interests me, colon, a fresh interpretation, even of a well-traveled route, can give its writers new insights. So there's a lot of new, fresh, and that's what interests him, this fresh interpretation. He is interested in, now we want something about new and fresh, and new light on places that may be familiar. New. Well-traveled route is may be familiar, but we were looking for that word new or fresh over there. So yeah, you're probably going to just guess that one, but that's where the answer was. Great. Anyway, that's a long video, but hope it helps. Let me know if you have any questions, either on the Facebook page or in the forum on my website. Thank you very much.